It's almost been 2 years, but Petras finally released her first full-length album project. It's called Clarity. It has 12 tracks. It's under 40 minutes, and I love it. I think it's everything I expected from her. A lot of what I said in my previous video about Kim covering her first era actually came true. A lot of my predictions were false. I'm just gonna go give you guys a rundown on what I think about the EP, which tracks really stood out to me, and just how proud I am of Kim. I already made a video talking about 4 of the tracks on the album, but I kind of want to just run through each track and just give little snippets of opinions and insights into how I think the song works or doesn't work. So let's get started. The first track is the title track Clarity, which came out a couple weeks ago. I think it makes a really good introduction track to the cohesive sound of the record. It has trap pop influences in it. It's relatively catchy and it's short. It's something that's just a quick listen to. I was a little disappointed with length, but the song more than makes up for it. And yes, she is the bitch with the sauce, apparently. Track 2 is what she calls the first official single, despite releasing 9 of the other tracks as little teasers. This song reminds me of The Weeknd's Starboy, as does a lot of the other tracks on the album, weirdly enough. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because Icy's a slapper. It is a jam. I totally love the lyric work and how her voice integrates with it. Again, that's something that I'm going to be talking about a lot. I talked about it in my previous videos around her. She just has this very wonderful meld between her voice and the melodies. I don't know if that's her work, Dr. Luke's work, or just some natural coincidence. I really enjoy the fact that she creates atmospheres in her music, and Icy is a wonderful showcase of her ability to really give her vocals and the package a terrain to exist in. The third track is Got My Number. You guys already know my thoughts about it. It is still probably one of my favorite tracks on the entire record. Sweet Spot is next. Still probably top 3, honestly, in my rankings. Sweet Spot is such an early Daft Punk inspired slapper. The woo-ah is genius. Her mind. The next track is Personal Hell, which I did talk about in my June Loose Ends video, and I still adore it. I think it's either my favorite or my second favorite track on the record. It just gives off such a wonderful energy to it that reminds me of Britney's Blackout era. It's just truly pop genius right there. You already know my thoughts about Broken. It's actually gone up in my ratings. I like Broken a little bit more because I went through a weird crush cycle where I thought that someone was rejecting me, but turns out they're just oblivious. So yeah, follow my Twitter for details. The next track is All I Do Is Cry, and I don't like it as much as I should like it. It's not a weak track. It's still relatively well and maintains her streak of having a nearly impeccable discography. Don't get me wrong. I just think that when put after Broken, you just get the sense of, okay, we get it, you're sad. And it just doesn't click with me on a deeper level. The lyrics are delivered in a way where the emotionality works, but it's not sold because Broken just came before. And jarringly enough, one of the biggest slappers, one of the best songs on this record, I really wish I could rank it above top 5, Dumi is next. And this song has been a favorite of mine, but over time it kind of wore me down because I kept on listening to it. It is the perfect hoe anthem. It's amazing. The little synths at the beginning, the way that she just sings with such clear confidence. It's just truly a great song, and I really wish I could rank it a little bit higher. The next track is one of my personal favorites, even though I would not personally rank it high. It's called Meet the Parents, and you can tell that this is one of the tracks that her frequent collaborator Lil Aaron worked on. Down to the beat, the delivery, and the flow. It feels very much like him, but Kim makes it her own in a lot of ways. I love the subject matter because honestly, it's so rare to hear, this perspective be told from the woman's perspective. Like, this girl, Kim, she's telling her man, you know what? Like, you're not gonna meet my family. Like, you're gonna be my sugar baby, but you're not it. You're not like what I'm committing to. And I just love that bratty attitude that the song has. And the fact that it's the first time in the record where it feels like she's kind of having fun in a real way, because at the end of the song there's like a couple of tags, her laughing, saying bitch, and just being meta and calling out how ridiculously funny and dumb the song is. So kudos to that one. I love that one. The next track is the Prerequisite Slow Sad Jam, another one. And I do like it a lot. It's just forgettable when it's smushed in between Meet the Parents and Blow It All. I like the production value. It reminds me a little bit of All That by Carly Rae Jepsen, which is a fantastic song. It's just not my cup of tea, personally, but I definitely see why people like this song. I just can't relate at the moment, but when I do relate, I know what I'm gonna be bumping. The next track is Blow It All, which I talked about at length, and I'm gonna continue to talk about because screw it. I love this song. This is my top ranked song on the entire record. It's iconic, it's triumphant, it's aged the best out of all of the tracks that she's released so far in terms of this album cycle. I just really love the celebratory energy that it has, the instrumental, the confidence, it feels like a thesis statement in its own right, even though Shining technically is the thesis statement of the record. Speak of the Devil, Shining is the last track on the record, and what I believe is the thesis statement, the heart of the record. And I tweeted about it a couple of days ago, just because I definitely have thoughts on this track. This, on top of Blow It All, is Kim's victory lap. I think it's her finally coming to terms with the fact that, she's been spending all this time saying, I'm the shit. People have been calling her the shit. There's been praise and everything, but I feel like this is the first time through lyrics and just track-wise where, I genuinely do believe that attitude. This is an ode to her fans, to everyone who's been with her on this journey and herself, and I think this is self-affirmation at its finest when one finally realizes what they've been able to accomplish and, internalizes it. Shinin' is a track dedicated to the journey that she's taken so far. It's the collective energy that she feels knowing that she's done a good job, and that's why I really do like this track a lot. When we put things into perspective and we think about Clarity as a concept record, Clarity being a metaphor for her state of mind and understanding that, I did it, I have a following, I have fans, I've accomplished what I needed to do, this is my first album. When we think about it from that perspective, this record is Kim's affirmation to herself and the world that she's here to stay, and she knows that she has a fan base and can grow a fan base. So I really do like viewing the record from that perspective. Is it a perfect record? Not really. There are flaws. There are tracks that aren't necessarily as strong as they should have been. I think I touched on those tracks when I was giving my rundown. Fans of Era 1 who are not happy with the sound shift change or the evolution of her sound, they're not going to be here for this album other than a few tracks. But all in all, I think it's truly a solid, defining debut record. I personally had a few qualms with how the album was released through a bunch of singles. I wish I'd been a little bit more surprised instead of just getting 3 new tracks, but I can't complain. The strategy did work. It kept her in the eye of her fan base, and many pop reviewers. But those are really just minor quibbles, and we should be happy that for the first time in Kim's career, she was able to package tracks and give us a proper era. I, for one, cannot wait to see what Kim does next. I wouldn't be surprised if she dropped another record between now and October, when we should expect Turn Off the Light Part 2, which I cannot wait to cover. I want to thank everyone who has watched these videos. Thank you so much for your time. I know this one ran a little longer than most of my other videos, but I just felt the need to really talk about each track and just put my thoughts out there. I'm going to continue making videos. My next video will be about Carly Rae Jepsen's two iconic records, Dedicated and Emotion. Yes, I called Dedicated iconic, and it's only been a month since its release. I will fight you guys on that. Like always, follow my Instagram, my socials. I have them linked. Also, feel free to fight me in the comments where I have put my ranking for each of the tracks. So, good luck with that, guys. And I can't wait to see you guys. Like, subscribe, you know the deal. Thank you so much.